Okay, so let's see where we are now. Okay. The day chair. I get to be my own day chair. I'm so excited. I requested that. So this is why I put these pictures up is because literacy has been a big part of my connection with this club. It as I was coming in and as a new member, literacy was really my connection to people because it gave me a reason to talk to people and be doing something that people could say, oh yeah, that's the literacy person. So my message around that is if you are new to the club, are looking to be more connected, follow my advice and see where it gets you, right? You too could be standing up here. So the idea is, yeah, right, or not. So it really is a way, and whatever it is that you do that is your thing. Like we all think of Gary Mosman with the Rake, Rattle and Roll, and Todd Marshall with exchange students, and everybody has, or many people have kind of a thing, and it's been, literacy has been my thing, and I have really appreciated that. And just for people who wonder, the person in the dark coat back there, I don't think he's here, is Steve Olson. So that was at what is now Ella Baker School when we gave them a bunch of books for their middle school library. And Cindy Lenny, you can see, and Cindy and I'm blanking on pardon, Tony, thank you. And this was the woman from the 4th precinct. One of our first projects was filling the 4th precinct Little Free Library for a year. And she was the woman that was our contact that was always so thrilled when we showed up with books. And in the corner down there, you'll see several years ago, Maria and Brock and me and Ellen. And former member who donated books, we went to one of their events one time and stood outside and said, bring us books, and people did. That was the thing. The other thing about literacy was it was so empowering because I could say, give me money, give me books, and people did. And this Rotary Club did. It was such a great way to feel the power of this club, was that I would stand outside with a pile of books and say, help me put stickers or give me money for more books. And people would do that. I mean, and it just gave me that wonderful feeling about this club that's made me want to stay a part of it for all these years. So that's my Rotary history. My regular history is I'm a leadership coach. I came out of Georgetown leadership coaching program about 15 years ago, and I've worked in just about any industry you can think of with leaders looking to make a transition. And now I work with nonprofit leaders. I do circles of leaders, peer learning circles, and individual coaching with nonprofit leaders. So enough about me. Let's see. And I'm learning technology. That's another thing about me. Okay, welcome to the year. We are, let's see. There we are. Do two things at once. Okay, welcome to the year. Today's agenda, we're going to talk about Australia, and we're going to talk about City of Lakes. You may notice I've got this wonderful pin that Julie gave me from Australia of a kangaroo. And when we went to Australia, we did actually see kangaroos. It was the best thing ever. We saw kangaroos and koala bears. So that was right after the conference, and my trip was complete at that point because I'd seen them. The picture on the top is Melbourne. And if you want to, excuse me, say it like locals say it, you say Melbourne, B-U-R-N, not Melbourne, like it looks. So it's a beautiful city. I thought of Ross a lot because there's such beautiful architecture there. It's kind of a mix of old city and just really funky, interesting new buildings. And there's this river running through it. It was a beautiful place to have a conference. And I thought very seriously about moving to Melbourne. I loved it so much. So the map on the top, I may have a pointer. I don't know. I'll just point to the bottom right corner is Melbourne. And when we were finished, we drove over to Adelaide, which is about a 3-day drive. So on there, it looks like it's about this far, but that's actually 3 days. So we drove along the Great Ocean Road, which is absolutely gorgeous. There is a lot of ocean, as you might expect, and deep wooded forests and darling beach towns. It's really great. And then we flew over to Sydney, and we were there for their Vivid Sydney, which is where they light up Sydney with these bright, beautiful colors. Oranges and fuchsias, and the I didn't put a picture, but the Sydney Opera House is these gorgeous colors that just keep changing. So the people in Australia kept apologizing that it was winter there, which meant 50s, mid 50s, mid and upper 50s. And oh, so sorry you're here in the winter. And we're like, it's really okay. So it's actually a great time to be there for the weather, and also for the Vivid Festival in Sydney. People come from all over for the festival, and we just happen to get there. So we're moving on to create hope in the world. The point of a Rotary festival, a Rotary conference, is to part of it is to hear from the incoming president, which is Gordon McAnally. He is a Scottish dentist and just the most wonderful down-to-earth guy you can imagine, who speaks with a Scottish accent. It's just great. And I have a picture of him. I had to cut most of my stuff here, but I have a picture of him in his kilts. He's just adorable. So his priorities are to continue Jennifer Jones's initiative on empowering women and girls, and we are going to be doing that in our club. Diversity, equity, inclusion. He has a wonderful quote about that. He says, as we become a more welcoming, inclusive organization, we will change the face of Rotary and put us on the map, on the path to even greater accomplishments. So he is a firm believer in diversity and inclusion. With polio, I found out that fewer than 1 in 5 clubs, Rotary clubs, donate to polio every year. So I'm like, yay, us, right? Good for us, because we do that every year. So that was just really surprising to me. He has a real focus on peace and also personal connections, reducing mental health stigma. So for Mr. McAnally, mental health is a really personal issue. If some of you have heard him tell the story, his brother died of suicide. And so mental health is a big issue for him because he feels like he didn't do enough listening with his brother. And so that's why the focus on reducing stigma about mental health and also really listening to each other is a very personal thing for him. So for a Rotary convention, for unlike Jim, who's been to most of them, there's 3 major parts to a Rotary convention. You start every day with a full session. Everybody gathers. This is a picture of gathering in the Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne. There were roughly 15,000 people there at an international conference. It varies on where it is, but it's a big place filled with a lot of very enthusiastic Rotarians, which is really inspiring. And they bring the flags in from every country that has a Rotary, and it's again just hugely inspiring to be there, and everyone feels so lucky and happy to be there as part of Rotary. Another thing they do at the Rotary conventions in the afternoons generally are breakout sessions. So I went to 7 breakout sessions. I have all the notes. I'm happy to share anything with anybody that wants to learn more about any of these. I went to one on New Gen Rotarians, effective club events, and skill development programs. So the ducks are about effective events. So they say that if you're going to do effective events, first thing you need is a group of very dedicated people, 2 or 3 people, and you need to do something fun and interesting. So that's what the ducks are about. And New Gen Rotarians, the thing that was interesting about that is that they said the unique proposition for Rotary with New Gen Rotarians is the relationships. So people can get networking other places and they can get service other places. And what they get with Rotary is that intersection of service and networking, those ongoing relationships of people that are invested in them and invested in their careers. So, excuse me. So as we are looking to grow our club and interested in bringing younger people in, I think we want to keep in mind that that's sort of our strategic advantage, is that that's something that we uniquely do. Let's see. So then if we move on to more breakout sessions, the yoga woman is about being flexible. That was a key, in case you didn't know. This was a big message for Gordon McAnally, is that we're not going to move into the future by holding on rigidly to what we've done in the past. We're going to move into the future by being flexible and trying new things. And by listening, right? Just like this dog down here does. And again, he's really excited about this idea of listening. And the breakout session was about paying attention to how you listen, because when you listen to somebody, really listen to them, they leave the conversation feeling empowered and heard. If they leave the conversation feeling like they weren't heard, it's really the other way, that they not only feel neutral, but they can feel kind of irritated that they're sharing something with you and you're not even paying attention. And then the last breakout session I went to was about alumni, engaging alumni. And I thought that was like former members, but the session was actually about younger folks who have been in Rotaract or Youth Exchange or some sort of, in a younger time in their life, they've been in Rotary. And it turns out that the track record of Rotary, of those folks becoming Rotarians, is awful. They just don't ever become Rotarians. It's like there's this big chasm where they drop off. And so I thought that was interesting. They suggested forming an alumni club of people who have had some contact with Rotary and getting them together once a year. And so I'm just putting that out there. I had a conversation yesterday with the president of the local Rotaract club, and she confirmed that. She said, in our Rotaract club, we may have 2 or 3 people that will eventually become Rotarians and the rest of them aren't. So that's an opportunity we're missing. Okay, so we are starting a journey. Oh, I forgot. This is the Friendship Village, which is another part of Rotary conventions. There's people, give you a sense of people from all over the world. They're just hanging out, having fun and smiling. And you see them at the Friendship Village, which is a huge place of more than 100 booths where people talk about what they care about. So it might be water, it might be shelter boxes, it might be beer, it might be anything they care about. I know Dean Sandberg is a member of the scuba diving special interest group, and they have a booth. So it's just this huge way to connect with other people in Rotary that care about what you do. And these are some of the people that you run into at the Friendship Village. So now moving on to our club and our journey. This is me. You may notice there's another motorcycle there. This is when Guy and I were taking off on a motorcycle trip somewhere, and I'm all fresh-faced and ready for action, kind of like I am today. So we'll see what happens on our journey. I think we were going to Maine and New England. That I think so. Yeah, we'd already, this was a good trip because what? Oh, haven't done that. Yeah. It's not even on my wish list. But we did our first motorcycle trip. We took 2 of us on one motorcycle from Kentucky to Colorado and back. and we survived, and here we are 45 years later. So, and we did actually then get another motorcycle, because I said, I'm not going on the back of another motorcycle on a trip like that. So, so anyway, this is thank you to the leadership team. There are 28 people in this club, not even counting the Zoom people, who have agreed to be part of leadership this year. And I just want to thank all of you and ask you to stand up if you're committee member, committee chair, on the board. It's okay to stand up. I know there's 28 of you. Yay! It takes a lot of people to make a club like this run. It's a great club, and there's a lot of great things we do, and those things don't happen by magic, and they happen because of those people. So thank you very much, everybody. And okay, so themes for this year. Let me catch up with myself. Connection and impact. So those two themes, connection is about what Gordon McAnally was saying, essentially connecting with each other, connecting with other people in our club, connecting with our community, feeling that sense of connection with our club, and connecting with our partner organizations, right? So we're not just writing checks and saying, have a good life. We're connecting with our partners. So it matters to them that we're involved, and it matters to us that we're involved with them. The impact word is about that. My phrase for that is, it matters that we're here. And to me, that's true for every single one of us. It matters that we're here. As I'm looking around, I notice, and it's wonderful the people that are here. And I also notice the people that aren't here, not because of any guilt, but because it's a different group when people aren't here. So it matters. If you ever get up in the morning and think, yeah, it doesn't matter. It does. It matters that you're here, that each one of you is here. And it also matters with our partnerships. Again, that's what I was saying, that we're looking for nonprofit partners for our grants and our service work, that it matters to them that we are here. And it matters to us that we are there with them. Like CES, right? We all know about CES. We've been doing that for years. Most of us have done it one time or other, often many of us with our kids. So it matters. It's part of our history that we have been involved with that partner. And we are going to measure, we're going to measure time spent, volunteer hours that we have spent, and we're also going to measure the lives touched. So you won't be surprised to find that I have big thermometers at home that I'm going to mount and bring, and we'll keep track of that to give us a visual. So then just expanding a little bit on this connection piece, it's about nourishing our members, and that's part of what the membership team does, but it's also part of what each one of us does, is noticing when somebody leaves or when somebody's not here for a while, reaching out and saying, hey, how you doing? What's up? And supporting our community. To me, we are, unlike many clubs that are city-based clubs like a Hopkins or a St. Louis Park, where there is a town. I mean, there's a town in Minneapolis, but it's a different situation. But I do feel like it's important for us as a Minneapolis-based club, even though we don't all live here, to do what we can to have our happy hours, to have our events, to be part of the solution for the city of Minneapolis. In terms of impact, the phrase I'm using with our service committees is nourishing young minds and bodies. So this phrase was developed with a group of leaders in the club to capture the work that we've been doing already. Almost everything we do in this club falls under this umbrella of nourishing young minds and bodies. And the idea is to give people a way to express the work that we do. So when you're talking to somebody about Rotary, you can say, yeah, we do a lot of service work around nourishing young minds and bodies. It's a phrase that is, we can all, there's some consistency in all of us using it, and it's something you can say and it has some meaning. And from there, you can jump off to what part of that matters to you, the water projects or the book projects or the food projects. But it's a way we can all be in that space together. And also it's easier to find other people that care about those issues if we can articulate and be clear. And the piece at the bottom in terms of priorities is creativity. We're an evolving club. Our membership has gone down and we are needing to evolve, just like Gordon McAnally says. We're not going to be the same exact way that we were 10 years in many ways. And so just a fair warning that creativity are us this year. And so some of the things might be great and some of the things, who knows, but that's the plan. So I have just a visual here. I'm big on visuals, right? So this is to help remember the connect and impact priorities for the year. I'll put that up every year. So when people say, what are our priorities for the year? You can go, oh, connect and impact. So you'll be ready for the take-home test. So this just, I put it in because it makes me think about Rotary. To make a difference in someone's life, you don't have to be brilliant, rich, beautiful, or perfect, other than Ross, of course. You just have to care. So when I looked at this word, it made me think of our club. So service committees, we can't talk about everything we're doing, but all of them have something new they're doing. Our community service is going to be very aligned with Julie's year of service, which is such a great idea. She's got 4 areas of service, 4 quarters, is asking all the clubs in the district to do something in each of these areas. And of course we will. And she's asked us to lead the literacy initiative. And we are working on that right now to come up with some cool stuff. The International Committee, their new initiative is investing in a loan fund, Kiva. You may be familiar with Kiva. It's a loan fund, and we're going to invest in that. It's an organization where it's revolving like microloans. So we're going to be impacting a lot of women and girls. And the vocational is looking at putting together a networking series that's targeted to current members and also younger members. These are just to give you an idea of the partners each of the service committees has this year. Service committee, the international, community service, and vocational. They're the partners that they will be working with. And the membership has a big, hairy goal of 15 new members this year. So Maria and Hugh can't do that on their own. They're going to be looking for lots of help from you folks. That'll get us up to 95, which would be a great number for us to be at. Social goal, Meg is working on lots of social opportunities to mingle in Minneapolis. And the programs committee is going to be doing something next week to get a lot of input from you about what kind of programs do you want to see. We want this to be totally member driven. So next week, we're going to ask you about that. I also forgot to mention next week, we're doing a shower for Alex. So don't forget to bring your shower hat. Oh, that could be dangerous. For a shower for Alex Velenkowski, who's having his second kid coming up here in just a couple of weeks. So we're going to, Mary Pat will have a game. It'll be really, really fun. Okay, so to the budget. This is always everyone's favorite part. Let me come down here. Okay, so you may remember a few weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, we came to you and said, we have an issue. We're not sustaining ourselves. What should we do? And we got that input and committee worked on it. And this is what we came up with. It was actually based on more members we have. We've lost 2 members since this. So it shows the need for really ramping up our membership. So this is our income. This is our primary expense categories. And with this budget, the way we've structured it, we will essentially break even, which is where we want to be, unless we made profit, which would be fine. So this budget was put together. These are the basic parts of it. Most of the time we're going to meet here. Generally speaking, the first week of the month, we'll have a hearty breakfast. So if that's important to you, be sure to come the first week of the month. The other weeks that we meet here during the month are more likely to be a light breakfast. We're going to observe more holidays like the one we just did last week that we haven't done before. Memorial and Labor Day. We're going to observe those holidays and take the week off. We're going to do 7 Zoom only meetings. The first one will be coming up in July because one of the groups said, let's try a summer Zoom only. And most of you said, let's do winter Zoom only. So the other 6 will be in the winter. And that's where the calendar comes in. Because when I propose switching up the schedule to allow some Zoom meetings, it was like, how are we going to keep track? So this is how we're going to keep track, hopefully. So there's a key there. Zoom only sessions are in green, and the weeks you don't come at all are in red. And I understand the print's big. It's hard to get a whole year on one refrigerator magnet. But so this is to help you keep track so you can plan, and you will know when we're going to be Zoom only and when we're going to be off. But that is frankly a cost-cutting measure that we're still going to be meeting. But for some of those Zoom weeks, we're hoping to bring in some extra cool speakers and do that by Zoom. Let's see. There are weeks when we won't be meeting in person. Like last week, we weren't in person, but we had a happy hour and it was fun. So we are really trying to make plenty of opportunities for people to get together, but there will be fewer on Wednesday morning. So, and this is part of the experiment. So let us know what works and doesn't work, but we're really looking actively at trying a lot of different things. What time of day, what days, what works for people, both for people that are here and also for the people that aren't here because we're here on Wednesday morning. So we will have a happy hour on Thursdays, first Thursday, like we have been doing. And as Jen mentioned, we're going to have a lunch at the Women's Club, which will usually be on the 3rd Wednesday, but this month it'll be on the 2nd Wednesday. So those are the things we're doing to bring expenses down while we're looking at pushing membership so we can raise revenue. So strategy, reduce costs, increase connections. So you're not losing chances to talk to each other and mingle, and integrate membership retention and attraction throughout. So the committees have been meeting with the membership committee, and we're looking at everything we do. How can we do that with an eye toward members, supporting our existing members and also being attractive, gathering information on potential members. So really integrating the membership function throughout everything we're doing, just looking at it through that eye. So we are may get lost along the way. But hopefully at the end of the year, we will feel like we have found a little piece of paradise, and we'll have that sense of adventure and excitement from having been in a great year together. So with that, let's see. I think that, well, I have actually 2 or 3 minutes for questions. Does anybody have a question you want to pop out? All right, that's always a great sign. No one has any questions. Okay, so I'll thank the people that were here and provided service today to the club, Brock and Greg, and our 2 apprentice Zoom team members, Scott and Brian. Thank you so much for your courage. And Steve and Dick, as always, for being our welcoming greeting team. John for coming back and doing a reflection, and Eileen with her information on the foundation, and Gail for updating us on the big check presentation, and for all of you for being here today. Lunch is here today. I'll be here. Hopefully somebody will be sitting with me. Next week is the Shower for Alex and program planning meeting. And don't forget Zoom only with a chef on July 28th. So with that, go out and have a great Rotary week.